Good morning, everyone. Good evening if you're joining me in Europe and other parts of the world. It's so good to see you. Thanks for giving me a couple minutes to walk Mr. Apollo, who's happily chilling out behind us, so we're going to just let him be. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh, and this is one of my favorite days of the week. We're going to be taking a look at the weekly collective together. And this is always a chance to navigate through the next 7 days, looking at all of the opportunities, some of the challenges, and also we're going to look at a special topic in the second portion. We're going to begin with channeled messages, which come through in dreams and meditations to me. I had some really interesting messages today, a couple of them connecting to the special topic that you chose, which is the money tree, which is all about creating abundance and wealth in your life. And I actually really like that because I think this is something, it doesn't matter if you're a student, if you're working, or if you're retired, we always need to focus on our wealth and our abundance. So it's a timely topic, and it's a timeless one too. It's something you can always look at. All right, let's get into those channeled messages. I'm going to pull up my presentation here. So one of the things that came through was how the lens of nostalgia, basically looking back at the past, it always seems like a good thing. But sometimes when we find ourselves in the past, there's this feeling of wondering like, you know what? Things aren't so bad where I'm at. And so it's kind of like that movie Back to the Future. He couldn't wait to get back to present time. So we'll talk a little bit about that. I also was given this high frequency tone, which is kind of like an upload to, or sort of like a light code frequency. But basically it was all about elevating communication. And then all of this week, I think really is about reclaiming harmony and balance in your life. So as we look at the various cards in the 7-day forecast that follows this, we'll see where the opportunities are for that. First things first, let's talk about high frequencies. So a lot of times I'll talk about high frequency thoughts or speech. So you can legitimately look at the hertz of, speech. I did a quick Google and researched it. It looks like the upper end of average human hearing is around 20,000 hertz. And I was listening to something that was around 10,000. It was high pitched, and Spirit also showed me like 10,000. And what I was getting from this was to elevate thoughts, speech, words, actions, and listening skills. Because some of those higher frequency things, you have to be really sort of listening to be able to pick up on them. So this is also connected to higher guidance, which can be like you working with your guides or with your higher self. It can also be a great time to learn, to research, to kind of absorb new things. So high frequency, high learning, and then just basically leading and walking that sort of high road, not necessarily, we talked about this in one of the monthly readings, like if someone continues to put low blows your way, you don't want to keep doing that because that frequency is just going to bring you down. So that was the first message here. Then the second was what I was talking, like myopic is basically a twisted lens. It's kind of like what I have to put on glasses because I no longer have 20/20 vision. Frustrating, but necessary. So when we look through the lens of the past, you kind of need a pair of glasses because it is warped. You can't see everything for what it was. I had this really interesting vision where we'll talk about it a little bit in the next slide, but it was like I was in this modern sort of stage, if you will, and highly technical. Everyone had computers and devices and everything, but it was almost as if the program was going too fast and someone took this giant knob and just turned it backwards, but too far, almost like a time machine. So gone were the devices, but also gone was the language. So it's kind of interesting because when you look at sort of conservative thoughts and views, there's always this idea of going back to a better time. Or we're losing our language and all of this stuff. But actually, I think we're constantly improving, developing, and expanding. And when I found myself in a past sort of energy, maybe like 2,000 or 3,000 years ago, there may have been less ways to sort of communicate thoughts and words because we've basically evolved that a lot as well. So what I realized is you're exactly where you need to be. I'm exactly where I need to be. We're blessed to be in this moment. Even though I take all of these things off and put it to the side, we wouldn't want to probably now not have a phone or a smartwatch or a computer. That's how we're all connecting. It's nice to disconnect from it when we need to, but it's nice to have it there. So make the most of this moment And don't focus so much on coulda, shoulda, woulda from the past. Focus more on I am, I will, that kind of energy. What you're really focusing on, I can, I will, I am, is basically my mantra. Showing the capability, putting it to action, and really keeping that action in the horizon. So live now, embrace tomorrow's possibilities is another way to put this. And the Fool takes one step at a time, doesn't get too caught up in all of that other stuff. The other thing that I watched was, as this sort of knob was turning, it's like we went back all the way to the beginning. I saw like the Olympians overtake the Titans. So the Titans were kind of melting into the lava. And then I saw these big gods coming through, and then they kind of disappeared as, like modern day came through. And it's almost like we put different faces and different names on source energy, which is why I don't think any one religion is quote unquote right. They're just windows into the same energy. One thing that is common throughout history is the connection to spirit. There's always something that's inexplicable, that's unexplained, that we have to kind of like continue to create and weave stories and thoughts and mythologies about. So here's the truth with this, is that you're connected to something bigger. You are the magician in the major arcana, and this is your moment to take what you can to create something amazing in this lifetime. So creativity, imagination, inspiration, these are at the altar of the magician. And this is what's going to feed your money tree. This is definitely connected to today's special topic. It's about figuring out a different way to do something, a better way to do something, a new way to do something. And that should be the focus as we're looking at the week ahead. Finally, I was looking at a movie without like a soundtrack. I couldn't hear the words, I couldn't hear the music, and it's really a chance for you not to have to sort of repeat an old script or let someone else score your movie or your life. It's basically saying you're going to find what creates balance and harmony. Justice is here because she speaks up for herself. She creates that balance and she does what's right. And that's also what's coming through with all of the messages that I received. So pretty powerful stuff, actually, just for a morning of dreaming. But I like the idea that this is the moment that you don't necessarily need to have someone else in your life. You are the magician. You can kind of connect with source. Not kind of connect, you can connect with source. And it's really just a matter of believing in yourself. Okay, so we're going to move now to a 7-day forecast. This obviously is going to take us through the next 7 days, beginning with today and including today, going all the way to next Sunday. We always reread Sunday because you've had a whole week to kind of like improve upon things. So it changes as the week progresses. Let's get started, folks, and let's see what's coming through. So it's so great to see a lot of members celebrating milestones today. Thank you very much. This card wants to come out, so there she is, Justice. Okay. So anyway, thank you for your longtime support, continued support. Thanks to Dakota as he's helping me with all of the welcomes and answering any questions. I appreciate that. All right, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, lots of reversals. We may just turn these up today because, I mean, we're in retrograde, so it happens. All right, we'll leave them. It's not all reversals, it's just some stuff that we're moving around this week. It's ending soon. It's around the 15th. So one more week of kind of like adjusting, and we're going to make the most of it. Okay, let's get started. We're going to begin with today, and this card kept kind of like nudging itself out of the deck. So let's just look at it in the upright position, and I'll find my my days of the week here as I'm doing that. But justice is basically everything that I was just talking about there a moment ago. It's about finding your balance. When it's reversed, it has a very specific message, which is it's okay to say no. It's okay to push back. And if something doesn't meet your standards of what's appropriate, what's adequate, etc., it's okay to walk away from that. We have the owl here, which is connected to Athena, which is also about wisdom, which is also about looking in places that others may not want to look or can't see, because owls have, eyes that are perfectly adapted for nighttime viewing. So You may be able to see the light and dark places, which is a beautiful sort of metaphor with an owl, and bring that. Look at this one. We actually have a spider in the corner as well. And one thing that is really cool with this, because we're looking at justice, justice can go through and cut cords if they don't need to be there. And a spider does that every morning as it kind of takes the leftovers from its meal and has to kind of repair the spider web. So this is a perfect time to cut cords, to speak up, to edit or revise a contract, to be the voice of reason in a room, and when appropriate, just say no. Okay? So that's the important thing today. Anything that you can do that creates that feeling of grounding, balance, and just feeling like you're in your sweet spot, that's what you want to be focusing on for the remainder of today and even into the beginnings of tomorrow for those of you that might be watching me first thing on Monday. But speaking of Monday, let's go ahead and take a look at Monday's energy. 5 of Cups. This is all about kind of looking at things from a different perspective. The important thing with this is you have to kind of go through the mourning process. So I think it's important not to rush straight to the next big thing. So let's say maybe back when I used to work in sort of traditional jobs, I remember that sometimes I wouldn't give myself enough time between quitting one job and starting another because they always need you immediately, right? So maybe I would take a week, maybe I would just go from one to another. That wasn't enough time to get the mental reset. And sometimes when we move from one big phase to another, we need a little bit more time to basically adjust and figure out, what am I doing and am I ready for this? Can I step into my first day of work, school, etc., and basically not feel like I'm just kind of on a merry-go-round, right? Going in circles. Take a moment. Let go of whatever it is that you just got through. It could be big, it could be small. Once you've processed that, lo and behold, there's something really cool right around you. So there's always a hidden 2 of Cups. Love, partnership, friendship, a couple of opportunities, whatever you want to look at it. And I like that. And we can actually see a couple of fish here in the lake in front of him. So again, it could represent new love. It could represent new opportunity, new creative ventures, but you got to get over that first. And the other thing here, this was all about the lens of nostalgia. So when I was talking about the myopic view of the past, there's something that may come through on Monday where, and it could even be that you look at a decision that you decided not to do something and someone else did and they were successful. You hear this all the time with actors that pass up a movie role or singers that pass on a song that's sent their way or whatever. In real life, it could just be like a job or a relationship and you see, I didn't go down that path, but look at that person that did and they're happy. Okay. First of all, yay for that person's success. It's always good to see someone succeed. Also, the fact that something successful came into your periphery or your path means it can happen again. So it's time to just be the magician, connect and say, this time I'm ready. This time I won't let something slip through my hands. I'm all the wiser. Okay. So it's a recalibration day for the most part. You may have some challenges when it comes to negotiations. People may be focusing on the negative or the critical. You always want to try to keep it constructive. You want to try to reframe the narrative. You may need to sort of take a break and meet again later if someone is in a state where they're not ready to hear you, because someone else could be in the 5 of Cups state as well. Okay, but overall, we like recalibration, and that's basically what the energy of Monday wants to give you. So look to the future, not to the past. Learn from the past, but don't live in it. All right, focusing now on Tuesday, and I love it. I don't care if this card is upright or reversed. The world is auspicious. So on to Tuesday. Let's look at it in the upright position for a moment. We can also see, this is a slightly different version of the world. Usually, I think you would see like different animals and things on this one. But here we actually see all of the magician tools. And it kind of makes sense because this is the final journey. So it's the journey of the Fool in the major arcana. And this is the ultimate card. And so, of course, the world card would have all the access to all of those things. This is basically saying you've been through that. You know what to do. You're focusing on what to do next. With respect to like just general information, how can you apply this to Tuesday? The world has to do with broadening your perspective. You could go a little bit broader with this in reverse. So it's saying maybe you've missed something. For those of you that feel like you've got too much on your plate, you could narrow your focus then and say, I'm going to focus on getting this done today. For those of you looking for a job or opportunity, it could be outside of your traditional borders. It's basically either going much broader or much more specific, because this is kind of like a binary card when it's reversed. Traditionally, the world is publishing, broadcasting, distributing, sending things out into the world, exposure, positive exposure, attention. So if you're pulling back from the next step, which is that expansion, you don't really want to do that. If there's something where you need to look in a different direction, Monday was already helping you recalibrate. So Tuesday is really just about embracing that. You will finish what you set out to finish on Tuesday. Travel could be necessary with the card in reverse, and because we're still in the throes of retrograde, allow for a buffer. There could be some delays, but it should still go through. And that's kind of the ultimate thing that I'll leave with Tuesday is, if there's a delay, it's not a permanent one. And what you want to just do is have contingency plans and basically look for an alternative avenue. And I always say this, delays and rejection usually are there to take our head and make us look in a different direction, which is right here. And so that might be it. Just look up, inside out, upside down, another direction, and you're going to find your answer. But it's still a very powerful day, and that's the ultimate card in the major arcana. So big things will go through. A great day for meetings, a great day to complete something, solve a problem in front of you, come up with an unexpected sort of suggestion, embrace all of that, okay? Pretty good. All right, now as we take a look at the midweek, this is a chance to take a pause. So we have a Knight card here reversed. This is a rethinking sort of energy. Wednesday with the Knight of Wands or Prince of Wands. Typically, this would mean that your thoughts and ideas are starting to take off. They're starting to basically move. A reversed Knight typically is contemplative. They're thinking through something from a different perspective, saying, oh, I hadn't considered that, or yeah, I'll listen to that idea. And then using that information, they can take the appropriate action. So just to kind of break it down into how this could work for all of you, it's a good day to review your itinerary, look at your budget, look at things that you'd promised to do, make sure your calendar's up to date, make sure that you're not forgetting, if you're going to meet a friend or check up on someone or there's a birthday, just kind of review the stuff that you intended to do and make sure that, with all the activity that might have been going on in the first part of the week, you hadn't forgotten something. This is also slightly stubborn, not so much as the Queen of Wands, but the Prince of Wands would hold their ground. So if someone in your life comes through and challenges your point of view, it's not always because there's a flaw. A lot of times they just want to be convinced, or they want some more information. So you could simply say, oh, okay, yeah, I understand what your question is. Here's the research I've done. Yes, I am sure that I want to do this. Is there anything I can do to allay your concerns? So that kind of stuff where you're still confident, but you're open and you're trying to help them see it. There's a lot of that at the beginning of the week. It feels like as long as you know what you're doing, that's going to keep the momentum, but there could be people coming in, questioning you. And again, it's their lack of clarity or vision. We're not seeing a lot of communication cards outside of this. So use different forms of communication. This is visual. So using a chart, using a real life example, showing someone, introducing someone to someone that's done something. Anytime you can kind of connect the dots in a different way, that's something that would be advantageous with this. All right, let's move on to Thursday. Thursday, we have the High Priest, aka the Hierophant. High Priest is in reversed, the reverse state, I should say. So what's kind of cool about this is he's almost, not quite, but almost in the magician pose there. But with this, he's basically holding his ground. Now for you, there could be someone who is a gatekeeper that's coming in, and it's almost like a rubber stamp approval. And there are certain things that you might have to do to get through that gatekeeper. This can represent a person in your life. In families, this can be like a patriarch or matriarch, and you're seeking their approval. The interesting thing with this one is it's not easily given because the card is reversed, and it may be something that you've already, there may be a different way. This is an old guard. When the card is reversed, it's kind of encouraging you to be, your own person to be a little bit, not rebellious, but maybe inventive. There's a different path. You don't have to walk the path that you've walked before. And I just did a recap on one of the monthly ones where that was basically, I think it was maybe Gemini or Taurus. Taurus, I think it was. I was saying, you're living your life for yourself and you don't have to always please someone else. So this definitely comes through here as well. Sometimes we have to work through a gatekeeper. So if you do, then do what you need to do and then disengage and move to the next step of the journey. Don't waste too much time with this person or this energy because it is a little bit stuffy or constricting. The only other thing that I would say with this is a natural card for connecting to spirit. One thing that I like to remind people of when we're looking at intuitive development is it should be easy. If you force it, if you focus too much, then you actually are kind of going counter to the flow. So the first thing that comes to your mind, the easiest door to open, wherever the energy is, that's really where you want to go on Thursday. Okay, let's take a look at the next card. So we're going to focus on Friday, and this is pretty auspicious, I have to say, even in the reverse state. Again, we've got a retrograde going on, so there's going to be a few reversals, so don't freak out too much. Looking at Friday in reverse here, the Sun card is basically saying there's something overdue. This could be the day that if you're looking for like, when can I push a deadline? How far can I go before someone starts to get nervous? I would say Friday's the day to do it. This is also a day for self-care, for doing something that's fun. Hanging out with a friend, watching a movie, reading a book, practicing yoga, taking a hike. I don't care. Everybody does something different. Do something for yourself that allows you to just feel, happy and connected to life in general. But Sun in reverse does also say, if you've been holding on to something, a project, an idea, wish, desire, etc., it's kind of getting to the point where it might be a burden if you don't let it go and get on to the next thing. There could also be a person in your life. It's usually divine masculine energy or presents as masculine. And this person may try to make it all about them. So if that happens, again, kind of hold your ground. We have, justice setting off the week here where you just basically decide how much energy you're going to give to it. Because ultimately the Sun is a little baby. It could be a child in your life. It could just be someone acting like they're a kid. So both the Fool and the Sun can sometimes just be someone who really likes attention. So carefully invest in that or don't. That's your prerogative. But ultimately, this is a card that connects you to source, that allows you to create, that allows you to deliver. And so all of those things are really good. We'll do the highlights and lowlights, but already I can tell you Tuesday and Friday are two of the best days to get stuff done. Okay. Let's look at your weekend, starting with Saturday. We didn't get a lot of upright cards, but we got two here on the weekend for sure. I like that we have a celebratory card here, 9 of Cups. So if you didn't have fun on Friday, it's time to have some fun on Saturday. I like to always just assume the best with the 9 of Cups. There might be something really great in your life. It could be a wedding. It could be that you just graduated. It could be that, you're starting to see progress on a goal or something like that. Or you just decided today's a day where I'm going to be happy. So do that. Moderation is always a cautionary asterisk on this card because he's got a lot of cups in front of him. So have fun, but be smart about it. And it can also represent punctuated highs and lows. So it's a reminder that, even though some days feel like the best or worst days of your life, they're just a moment on a large sort of timeline. And we try to take everything in stride. Okay. But have some fun. That's the main thing. Saturday is a great day for socializing, great day for going on a date, great day for having a gathering. 9 of Cups is fun. 9 of Cups and 3 of Cups, that's a party I want to go to. It's going to be a lot of fun. And basically celebrate life's little successes as well. That's my advice for that. All right, taking a look at a week from today, next Sunday, we have the Empress. So this is really cool because something that you let go of, Friday, the Sun, you quickly are starting to work on something new, and we see that already taking shape and form. There's a beautiful symbol of fertility here. As I'm looking closer, I always like to see what additional things are on these cards. It almost looks like there's a little frog in the foreground. But I love the abundance, and I love all of the Horn of Plenty and the harvesting energy here. I have to remind myself that for all of my friends in the southern hemisphere, this is more the kind of the energy that you're going through. We're going through spring and summer. You're going through fall and winter kind of energy right now. So this is a great day to see something come to a close, to also get your, when we look at harvesting energy, it's basically reaping the rewards. So if you worked really hard, this is a day where that could all come to fruition. It's a time where you want to take more ownership, do something for yourself. Definitely nurture yourself this day. So whether that's, deciding to exercise, take a bubble bath, get a massage, just give yourself 10 minutes, especially for those of you that are busy moms or dads. Just do something where your mind, body, and spirit is saying, thank you. Thank you for that. Even if it is just 5 or 10 minutes, give yourself something. Go get a coffee. Do something where it's just going to reset everything and treat yourself a little bit, okay? It is a boss card, so if you need to have a difficult conversation or negotiation, it's the weekend, but you can get it done. So if you want to get that done on the weekend, you can do that. Let's move on to highlights and lowlights, and then we'll get into the elemental forecast, which is the only portion of today's forecast which is specific to signs. So highlights of the week. I see 3 cards, aside from today, because you're here with me, but the days that are yet to come. I would say, so Tuesday's fantastic, Friday's fantastic, and so is next Sunday. On these days, just about anything that you want to do, you can do with ease. Challenging days of the week, today because you might have to say no to someone, Monday because it's recalibration. But those are the most challenging ones. If you want to have a party, I really like next weekend. Either Saturday or Sunday is good, but Saturday especially, okay? And that's that. Let's now move on to the elements. And the elements are basically going to help us take a look a little deeper at fire, earth, air, and water. So let me just rearrange the cards here and see what wants to come through. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully you're doing well. Let's see. I will move to a different deck here for this. All right, let's give the cards a shuffle, and then we'll go deeper into each and every one of these. Fire, earth, air, and water. Let me just get my side camera up so I can see what's going on here. There we go. Okay. Let's begin here with fire signs. You got 2. I honor it when I get 2 because that's what spirit wants to come through. So this is for my Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So you have 1 card that's upright in the background, and you have 1 that's reversed in the foreground. So we have the Son of Pentacles or Knight of Pentacles in reversed, beginning things. And if we turn it upright, it's kind of like, this is in the crown chakra. So some of you need to turn your attention towards matters of time, money, resources, basically all things that Pentacles represents. This is also maybe something that you've been avoiding but needing to deal with. The cool thing with this is once you pay attention to it, once you decide what you want to do, you're going to see progress, you're going to see movement. So rethinking a contract or a money decision, or again, something with time or energy, that's the most important thing. Part of this involves coming forth and saying, this is the card beneath it, this is what I want. Someone wants to know what's on your mind, and your challenge right now is to kind of own your decision, speak from the heart, and trust that it's going to be okay. So basically, talking a little bit more about money. It's not something that's easy to do. It's today's topic, so we're going to do it anyway. But when it's coming to if you're meeting someone new in your life, or even when you're talking to family, a lot of times there's a lot of guards that go up when it comes to money. If someone owes you money, this is a time to really step in and make sure that you get what's right. In fact, today is a great day to begin that conversation because we got the Justice card. So that's the main sort of crux of all of that. This underlying energy is also saying take care of yourself. And of course, we got the Empress coming through next Sunday. You have a whole week to kind of get things into a better, healthier pattern for yourself. But step 1 is making sure that you have enough. Step 2 is making sure that your voice is heard and that you are taking care of yourself as well. But you can get better control of your money. You might be able to open up a job or opportunity. It's a great week to interview for those of you that might be working. And for those of you that might be shopping or traveling, if you're retired or whatever, you can get a better deal on something. Don't accept the first offer. That's what I get with that. So again, that's all my fire signs: Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Let's move on to Earth: Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Ace of Swords in reverse. I love this illustration because it kind of reminds me, well, it's almost like a pen. Anytime we get the Ace of Swords or Ace of Wands, they can be like a wand or a pen. But for this one, that's really what I'm getting here, is that it's time to revise something, a contract, an idea, or it's time to commit to something. This is also to the point. So Ace, King, Queen, Knight, or Page, whenever they're reversed, they're basically not going to mince words. And so because you're Earth, because you're kind of business oriented and grounded anyway, I would just say, help the person feel safe and know that they're in a good sort of situation. And then just say, here's what I want to talk about. Here's my thoughts. Are you in? You can kind of just get into that conversation. There might be something where you can just put it on the table. That's going to help you move forward. This is also like I was talking about Justice. In the corner of Justice, we saw the spider web. She's holding the sword. So this could just be about cutting things out of your schedule and your life that just don't serve a higher purpose anymore, okay? So editing, revising, getting to the point, doing what's right, putting your name on the dotted line if you stand behind something. All of these things are a part of your sort of potential energy. It's an ace. We get a lot of ace cards lately in all my daily card pulls. So the other thing with ace energy is, what are you going to do to bring this to life? So an Ace of Wands is an idea. An Ace of Swords is action on that idea. And an Ace of Swords in reverse is taking action now. So there's also a time element to this, which is you've had ample time to prepare and sort of think about it. Even if you haven't, things are going to move faster. So you almost have to operate a little bit quicker here. Okay? And that's the message for Earth. It's good. I'll take an ace in any of the elements. That's a great energy. I just want to underline that. So it's basically, my question to you is, what are you going to do next? Because I like the kernel, the seed, the opportunity in front of you. Okay, we're now going to move on to air signs: Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Let's see what's in store for you. I love it. We got the Fool. We have a little baby chick here. Some of you may be worried about spreading your wings and taking that first flight, whatever's on the horizon. I'm super sort of like engaged and optimistic about this Fool. It seems a little bit, uncertain or whatever, but I would say you're going to be fine. It's always a little shaky in the beginning. Monday, in particular, I think is a day for you to figure out how to make this different, because we were looking at this recalibration. So I think Monday's your consideration day, but when it comes to hesitating, it feels that for you, by Tuesday, you need to take that step if you haven't already. So I'll give you a day, but I would say by Tuesday, start the movement, start to try to fly and see how far you can go. Here's what the Fool is good for if we just take the little baby chick out of it, look at it just as a Fool card. First steps, clean slates, clear mind, clear energy around you. So clear out your sort of financial life, your house, your agenda, your mind. Get everything sort of open so that you can build. So if imagine the tower happened a long time ago, you're all healed and everything's good. This is sort of just like preparing the ground so that new construction can take place. And travel is really good with this card. And so are like new meetings. You can just kind of look at things as a blackboard that's been freshly washed and there's no scrapes and no nothing. It's basically your chance to create something new. So this time, do it differently. This time, enter without baggage. This time, see it as like blue sky. Okay? Potential. This week is potential. That's how I would sum it up for you. And that's a really good sort of energy to build with. And because it's a bird and your air, this is also nicely connected to what you can do well. All right? It's a good week, folks. Have some fun too. I said the Fool and the Sun cards are about having fun. So, I think this was connected to Friday, so you can always do that on Friday as well. Friday and Saturday were both fun days if you wanted them to be fun days. All right, moving on to Moon, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Okay, you have the Moon coming through. We like this. So the Moon is basically your ability to connect with your instincts. Your instincts are not going to lead you astray. It's a reminder that you are not sort of reflecting others' lights. Like the Moon is actually reflecting your light. That's how I like to read the card. So it's saying never underestimate your ability to bring light to others, and don't be afraid to deal with things like fears, uncertainties, questions, anxieties, because the Moon wants to help you heal all of those things. It is a divine feminine energy that can rein things in. Think of what the Moon does for the planet. It helps control the tides. It helps basically make the Earth's, steady the Earth's rotation and spin. And so it's a stabilizing force. So it's reflective, it's stabilizing, and it has the ability to rein things in. These are the things you can focus on: getting control over things that you have let go of, reflecting on questions or fears, doing research, and then trusting your instincts, because second only maybe to the High Priestess, this is a pretty psychic card. You're able to pick up on things without having all of the information in front of you. It's a trust issue that comes through with the Moon versus the High Priestess. The traditional card has two animals, one that's domesticated, one that's wild, usually like a wolf and a dog. And it is about not necessarily paying too much attention to what you've been trained to do, not second guessing your instincts, following them in other words, and just going down the path in the middle, getting started. It's very similar energy actually to what we were talking about with the air signs, to stay focused and to have like a fresh start. Okay, so that's what we've got. And oh, by the way, thanks for the reminder that next Sunday is Mother's Day. How appropriate then that we have a mother coming through on that card. So for those of you that have a mom that's living, do something with them, of course. For those of you like me where they're in spirit, it could be a great day to just do something in honor of them. Okay? Thanks for the reminder. It's always great to have that in chat. All right, folks, we're going to now move on to the special topic for today. And again, the special topic today is the money tree. And I think it's a really cool one because sometimes we're afraid to look at these things or learn about these things, but I think it's really important to talk about money. We don't do it often enough. So let me get all the cards set up here and we'll get on to that. While I'm doing that, it's a great time to remind you, if you haven't already done so, hit the like and subscribe. I occasionally do impromptu readings. I did one on Friday for the full moon and the eclipse energy. And so to make sure that you don't miss that, make sure that you do that. You can also follow me across social media if you'd like to. All right. I used this a couple weeks ago and you guys liked it. So I'm going to use this deck again. All right. If you ever want to see any of the decks that I use, you can find them on my website. It's pinned in the comment that Dakota put up there. Okay, let's get started. Again, we're looking at the special topic for today. And let's see how you can call in abundance and money and success in your life. The money tree. We've never done this topic, not titled as such. So we're specifically really looking at money. This was very close. 1 percentage point, I think, by the time I was looking at the poll this morning. When I looked at Patreon and the members, this was still the winner on all of those, so that pushed it over. But it was pretty close. Loving all of the abundant Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Wands. These are great. Yeah, there's some topics that don't make it. Here's the thing. I don't choose ones that don't make it because clearly there's not interest. But I do try to retitle and reform them in the future. So we'll see what I can do. And maybe sometime I'll do it as a mini read or something, or as a short if some of these that have been there time and again, they don't make it, I'll do something else with them. I do keep a list of all the topics, so I kind of go back and look and see, why didn't we do that? Let's not make any assumptions about age. I see some assumptions on age. This is a topic that everybody can benefit from, you know? So I don't think that that's necessarily true. We'll try not to be ageist. I think that whether you're young or old, it's really important to look at money. And it's important to think about it because it can create opportunities and abundance in your life. So yeah, let's not use ageist remarks. Alrighty, let's get started, folks. We're going to begin with the Catalyst card. Again, this is about how to create abundance. And yeah, it's called the money tree, but it's also about sort of creating a foundation in your life. So I did say calling in, expanding wealth and abundance. So this is also something where you can help others with what you've created in your life. And what a nice card to kick it off. So if you have some, give some. And that's what we've got here with generosity. One of the reasons a lot of people seek to create like generational wealth is so that they can pass it on to their children, so that they can have a better life. That's one of the reasons this is important. And it's not just for middle-aged people, it's for everybody. And especially for those of you that may have come through families that worked really hard and didn't get it. Like, so my mom's father was an immigrant from Italy. He worked on the railroads. He spoke Italian, he spoke Spanish, and he spoke fluent English, but he didn't make a lot and he threw his back out a lot. He worked really, really hard, but he came here and immigrated to this country to help create a better foundation because his family was living in poverty in Italy. So it wasn't, and my mom didn't get a chance to go to college. She gave me that chance. So it took 3 generations to build up the chance to basically have education and have like opportunities. So I'm forever grateful to my mom and my dad and their parents, who were all immigrants that struggled. From my dad's side, it was his parents' parents, but we're all just a few generations from other countries, you know? So yeah, so that's why I think it's important, because it's about building a foundation, and that allows for future generations to prosper. So he had a harder life, but his children had a better life, and then his children's children had a better life. So this is what it's about, folks. And you may be the first person that's changing a generational pattern in your family. And for him, I can't even imagine. He traveled on a boat at 13 with his sister. You know, that was crazy. That was crazy to come over. And I don't think the whole family was here. I think it was just a parent. I can't ask my mom all of this anymore because she's gone. But yeah, kind of crazy. And that's what this is about, building something for a future generation, not just you. Okay? It's about the future as well. My dad's side was from Austria, so and then there was other Eastern European from his mom's side, so all over the place. So anyway, we're all. That's why whenever I kind of look at, it's a melting pot, and I think we're all from different places, and we just kind of move around. This is a chance for you to kind of look at your future, and look at, for those of you that are having children or want to get back to the next generation, it can be that too. So I just wanted to take a moment, since someone was making a comment about age. I'm like, not really, because my grandfather made that decision with his family when he was 13, and it was for this purpose. It was for me, and it was for his daughter and his son and all of that. Okay, so let's broaden the lens and broaden our minds on that. Okay, so Queen of Wands, I want this when we're looking at money, because she's on top of things. She's not afraid to manage things. She's not afraid to look at the sort of the good, the bad, and the not so fun when it comes to financial stuff. She also is a little bit magical. So I love the sunflower, and I love all of the sort of, looks like those are moths kind of drawn to the sunflower here. So Queen of Wands, what is she really, really good at? Well, management in general. So for those of you that are thinking of being entrepreneurial, thinking of taking a different approach to something, a different stand, this is a great time to do that. This is also a card that is about taking an idea and bringing it to the next level. It's not just about a goal on a bucket list. It's saying, I own that, I'm doing that, and this is how I'm going to do it. Doesn't mean that you have to be a boss, but it means that, like, I've talked about this before. Like when I was thinking of graduating early from my undergraduate and doing like a post-grad travel abroad sort of thing, I had to decide about a year ahead of time. And then I had to do a lot of paperwork. I had to get a passport. I had to apply to the program. I had to take extra credit hours. I had to work with my, I can't remember what they're called, with my counselor to make sure all of this stuff happened, and coordinate and get permission from my parents and all of this jazz. It was like a production. It was a Queen of Wands moment. So I wasn't running a company, but I was moving the ship forward in a different direction. And then I was doing a lot of stuff while I was overseas. I was looking for like where I was going to go to grad school. So I was totally the Queen of Wands, and I was super young. So you can be the Queen of Wands as a male at any point in your time. These are genderless roles. It's just basically saying you're developmental. So if you want to develop something, change something, move something, this is a card that says you can do it at any stage of life, at any stage of wealth. I had no money when I was doing any of this. I was just setting the stage for something else. So it's saying, think about something 1 year from now or 2 years from now and start the work now. Not about an immediate return. We're looking at longer term sort of stuff that takes a while for you to turn the wheel of fortune, ostensibly, to make it happen. Okay? We have the Page of Pentacles. What a great card to be crossing the Queen. So the Queen sets the sort of motion, the Page then takes it from there. So the Page of Pentacles is also saying, I'm going to tend to this. So I love how they've illustrated this page. We see a water bucket, and then this sort of beautiful flower coming forth. And of course a pollinator on top of that. So an idea is as good as the investment that you put into it of energy, time, and belief as well. So the first thing is maybe looking at more than just now, more than just the next job, more sort of like, what do I really want to do with the next 3 to 5 years? For those of you planning a family or things like that, or marriage, that can be on the horizon. Then go even beyond that and think, okay, all of this is good, but what do I also want to do before I leave the planet? I talk about the sort of legacy energy too. When I step out of the body into spirit and look back, yeah, I did all the bucket things. I visited this, I married this person, I had this baby, I did all of that, but did I also accomplish a planetary goal? So think of personal goals and then planetary goals. And then pick one of those and put some momentum behind it right now. I think that's really, really important, okay? Now, as we look at deep past, it's what I just talked about, kind of sharing a little bit of my family history. 6 of Cups. This is like children in your life. So those of you that are thinking of starting a family or giving to, you don't even have to have kids. Maybe you're thinking of giving to the next generation or giving to someone in your family, whatever. But it is about sort of making a better tomorrow. Here's a fun fact. Well, for me, it's a fact. I've seen through my own recollection that reincarnation is a reality, but not everybody is kind of there or believes that. But at the very least, you can get behind this. We're giving the guard and the energy and the keys to the kingdom to the next generation. So whether it's you coming back in a future life or someone that comes from your family lineage, you want it to be good. But just imagine this, wrap your head around this. Imagine that you're going to come back dozens of times to this planet. It starts to change the way you plan things out and also like even treat the world, because the messier we make this, the more cleanup that we have to do. So this 6 of Cups can also be the future you and the future sort of world that you live in. So you could also be giving back to, something environmental or philanthropic or somehow that's going to improve the place. It can be that kind of, that sort of goal. So when we're looking at the money tree, it's a different, by the way, I'll pull it up here. It's the tree of life that's imprinted upon the 10 of Pentacles, and it's everything that I'm talking about. So it's not just for you. We're building a better world for everyone, I hope. So let me look at this card real quick here. But that's kind of it. It's you, it's your friends, it's your family, it's your children if you have them. It's you in the future as that, inner child. So this is the typical 10 of Pentacles. On top of it is the tree of life, and is the sort of money tree, if you will. And we see that abundance all over this. So that's kind of our goal today, is to get to that 10 of Pentacles. So that's what we're going to try to do. All right. Deep past. Some of you have been healing wounds from the past. You might have reconnected with someone from the past. Whatever's going on here, I like it. The main thing here is to have some fun. And even as an adult, have that inner child and have that playful nature. And this is a beautiful illustration when we see that. This could be nostalgically looking back. Maybe even frustrated looking back and thinking, I didn't have time to have fun. Make time as an adult to have some fun and do some things. Hanging out with nieces, nephews, and neighbors' kids as you're kind of like going to family functions. That's a great way to kind of get out of your adult energy and reconnect with just sort of being yourself. So yeah, there's the child within, and for some of you, the children in your family you're spending a little bit more time with. Your biggest challenge, your biggest potential pitfall as you move towards more abundance in your life is the Hanged Man reversed. So in the Hanged Man upright is just saying, you're losing your patience, but you're actually opening up a new perspective or opportunity. When the card is reversed, it's rushing through that before you've learned everything that you need to learn. So give yourself ample time to move through a situation. When we were looking at the 5 of Cups, so for this week, it's Monday. Monday's the day where I think all of you don't need to rush to complete. It's really just turning your head, turning your mind, turning your heart towards something. Tuesday's when you can start to take some action. So give yourself that time on Monday to just be, to just assess the situation, to sit with something for a little bit, right? I think that's going to be really important. All right. Now, as we look at your crowning card, we have the 8 of Cups. This is a card where you don't have to shut the door immediately to an opportunity. You don't have to make a decision immediately. It is about taking your time and stepping away for a moment or two. So I'll pull up the traditional one as we're looking at it, but what I like on this one is all of the pollinators. We have dragonflies and moths. We have a few different types of birds as well. Let's look at the traditional card for a moment because it tells the story just a little bit better. And basically what this says is, if there's something important and you're not 100% sure, take a holiday, take a sabbatical, take a leave. If you have to make a really pivotal decision and money's involved, or it's going to be something that changes your life trajectory, ask if you can sleep on it or have a week. A lot of times for job offers and things like that, you can buy a little bit of time. It depends on how competitive something is. But sleeping on something and saying, can I get back to you first thing in the morning? I need to talk to my partner or something like that. That's usually expected for a major life decision. That's the 8 of Cups. It's saying, let me pause, let me step away from this for a second. And there's room to come back with the decision. That's why there's a missing cup. The other thing that this can represent is a door that wasn't completely closed in the past. And as we look at the cards in front of us, it could be love. It could be a wish or something from your childhood. And now as an adult, you're coming back and saying, oh, I didn't forget about that. Now is the time that I have the resources to do it. I've been waiting all of this time. And like, this is the archaic view of like retirement. You work your whole life and then you get to have fun, for however many years are left after retirement. But hopefully the updated version is we keep revisiting what we want to do, and we do it while we're youngish and alive and well, and still have, all of our faculties. So don't wait for retirement. Don't wait for a tomorrow that you never know if it's going to come. I underline this as much as I can say. Life isn't short, it's finite. We don't know what that end date is. It could be 8, 28, 38, 108, whatever. For everybody, it's different. So make sure that you're doing what you want to do today. Don't wait forever. And that's what this is saying. That inner child is coming through a couple of times and saying it's time to revisit something from the past to really bring joy into today and into now. Because traditional retirement isn't even like logical for some of us anymore because of cost of living and things like that. So the truth is a lot of us might be working for a substantial part of our lives. So we might as well be doing things that we love, and we might as well be doing things that are making a difference. All right, looking at the near future here, we have the Knight of Swords. Love it. So this is the power of speech and action put together. Yes, I'm going to do it. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm doing it. So just be a person of your word. Follow through on promises. There could be a contract that you're signing. For some of you, this is auspicious and it represents a new job. It represents interest in what you have to say or what you want to do. And I like it. For those of you that are creative, literally we have a quill here, and we also have a paintbrush. So this is really talking about creating something new and that hasn't been done or that comes from your heart. And this could be something that is more in an entertainment vein, or it can be something that's intellectual and educational. So, a lot of times with Knight of Swords or Three of Pentacles, this can be a proposal, a bid, a contract. It can be a curriculum, something that's put in some sort of a, I can't think of it right now, like a scientific journal. It doesn't have to be just like art and writing. It's putting something out there so that others can see it. And that's kind of the call to action. Let me take a drink. You can look at the table while I'm doing that. And then we're going to look at you here. And I quite like that you came through with the Two of Cups. Okay, that's better. So as we're looking at you, you came through with the energy of the Two of Cups. There's an interesting sort of overlapping, twinning sort of energy here. I don't use twin flame. I look at karmic relationships. Some of you might be pulling in a karmic relationship. I like the word twin star because it doesn't, we're all sort of like from that sort of same source energy. So I think what you could be calling in is past life karma, and there's a chance to resolve something with that or to reunite with that. So when we look at the karma here, it's actually pretty good. I would say impatience. So if I had to pick one thing from the past that might be coming back in this life or in another, it could be that if it's meant to be, it will be. You can't rush love and you can't force a feeling to happen. So either it's there or it's not, and that's the karmic lesson this time. You may feel more and it may just be friendship. You may both feel it, but it's going slower than you want. So basically, if you want to wait. And focus on some other things. There's a lot of things that are going on, but one of the gifts right now is possibly love and partnership. Patience will be tried. That's your karmic lesson. When you're looking at the people that you bring in, this card actually accurately sums up what the Two of Cups is about. We bring in mirrors of our energy. So for those of you that have had a pattern in dating that you don't like, look at the person, look at your own life, see where you could create like a difference to sort of counteract that. I'm not a therapist, but it might be something to talk about with them. A lot of times what we're attracting comes from that. So I can say without hesitation that working on things like self-confidence is going to help, because you're going to be pulling in people then that and self-worth. That way they're not going to test your like how much you respect yourself. So good self-respect, good self-worth, those are things that are going to absolutely pull in higher partnerships. The trick of the sort of like manifestation is the law of detachment, which is knowing that you're holding space for it, that you're ready, maybe even you want it, but knowing that you don't need it to be happy. And when you have that sort of sense of I can take it or leave it, but I'd rather have it, the universe is more inclined to give it to you than I must have it now. Why isn't it here? And you're obsessing over it. So focus on working on yourself, building yourself, holding space, stating intent, and then kind of shifting perspective. And then out of the periphery, who knows? This could be a great time for those of you that are single and looking. And I quite like Six of Cups and Two of Cups. You have a lot in common. This is besties. Like it's a best friend and potentially a lover. But you might need a little bit of time for them to get where they need to be and you need to be where you're at. So give it time. That's my one piece of advice as I look at the karmic lesson there. Your ability to partner, to pull people in, to get their interest is peaking right now over this week. So it's a great time to collaborate, okay? Love that. What's going on around you? Well, hello, Money Tree. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. This is perfect. So with the Queen of Pentacles, this is the maternal card, in second only to the Empress. So this is house, finances, money, resources, and the ability to develop or nurture. Here's the cool thing. You got the two best queens when it comes to business and money, without a doubt. She can take a dime and make it $1. And she can take that dollar and make it like $100. So she's good at taking a little bit and stretching it. And this one is just really smart about investment and growth. So you put the two together and you're going to be able to innovate and then really keep that wealth and grow it. So two fantastic energies. Also, people have a hard time saying no to the Queen of Wands. This particular queen can be a little bit more accommodating. So Queen of Wands, I definitely want in that CEO role. I want this one in the CFO role. So we've got your chief executive and your chief financial with these two queens, and you've got those energies with you as well, okay? So look at what's going on around you. This is not necessarily in your bank account. This is saying there's something within reach, an opportunity, someone that's interested, something that you've been sitting on that might be ready for you to kind of pick up and deliver. And we talked about a delivery date being Friday, if I remember. So these are some things to keep in mind. Definitely getting your head around money, maybe even talking to a different expert. This can represent like an accountant or a financial advisor in your life to help you do even more with what you have, okay? The Queen of Wands can take it so far. The Queen of Pentacles can really take it to the finish line. And by the way, this could be the partner energy. So we have the Two of Cups, the Six of Cups, and then we have two really cool partners kicking this off. Not only that, but we have a couple of other partners here. And they're all divinely connected. So the two queens represent the core partnership. And this can be, by the way, this can be parents, two children. This can be two senior partners, two junior partners. But I definitely see boss energy, and I see people then that are kind of following in suit, and I like that. Now let's take a look at what it's all about here. Hopes, fears, and opportunities. We have the Emperor card coming through. More boss energy. This is reversed though. So for many of you, there's this understanding that maybe you just don't like to be told what to do. And I think the older we get, that's true. That's part of the fun of being an adult. Part of the burden of being adult is having to make the decisions and having to take the sort of like heat, basically, whether it's good or bad. So that's sort of the thing here. But when we're looking at this, I'm really focusing on the sort of cathedral in his mind, the space, the energy there. Open your mind and keep an open mind. And don't let someone's closed ideas, because this can be very conservative when it's reversed. So there could be someone in your life that wants to control you, that has a closed view or idea of what you can do, and you're basically breaking through that. In fact, as we take a look at the Six of Swords, which is reversed, it's saying moving in another direction. I love that there's an anchor on this. To me, anchors are, yeah, of course it makes sense with the Six of Swords, but it's also part of the Devil card. That's kind of how I view it. Anchors and strings and cables and things that kind of hold you down. I feel like she's just going to release the anchor and allow herself to go wherever she needs to. I love that it's connected to the star here as well. So this is about basically you being yourself and moving in a direction that's more you. Many of you may need to physically move for the job, for a relationship, or for retirement. There's something on the horizon that you're like, I think I've done everything that I can in this space, in this part of my life, and I need to go there now. And this is just affirmation. It's also very much akin to like the world. So this is just expansion and development. Okay, let's go ahead now and take a look at the expanded portion of this forecast. We're going to go a little bit deeper into the energies of health, wealth, love, and destiny. And we're going to see how wealth and abundance overlap with those. We're going to begin with health. Mind, body, and spirit. As the disclaimer reads, I'm not a substitute for any type of advisor in your life. I am here to look at energy. So if there's something going on with money, if there's something going on with your health, or anything of that matter, work with the appropriate professional. Now let's look at the energy and see what you can manage with opportunities here. Sea turtle. Surprising speed. So on land, pretty slow. Underwater, not so bad. So this is showing that things are not always what they seem. And there's going to be times where things are lagging. And then there's going to be other times where, by the way, the Knight of Swords is one of the fastest cards in the deck. So let's take a look at that with that knowledge. You're on the precipice of this, and I just caught it thanks to our oracle card here. So slow as a snail right now, but pretty fast in a few weeks, perhaps. So keep your mind where you need to, when on what mind on your money or mind on your progress. Focus on creating a plan. And as you're starting to plan and research and talk to experts and maybe revisit something here, all of a sudden you have a breakthrough, you have an epiphany. There's something that opens up for you. So that's one thing here. Now let's shift the lens to what's healthiest for you. Right now, slowing down is good because it gives you a chance to spend time with the people that you like the most, to re-engage with your creative inner child, which is I talked about earlier, the key to abundance is the imagination and the sort of fun part of your inner child, because it comes up with things that the adult would just discount. So getting into that inner child energy is key. So slow down, have some fun, take a trip if you can. Not all of us can. If not, just get some perspective, then come forward and things will be okay. Focus on healing. So for those of you that have suffered any sort of injuries in the lower extremities, in your foot, ankle, or anything below the knee, usually with the hanged man, this is a time to get the rehabilitation there, to just take your time, basically. Other things here. You may need to get some space. So the Six of Swords, look at how intertwined this Two of Cups is. Six of Swords is all about finding a little bit of you time. So is the Eight of Cups. So it feels like in really tight working quarters or living quarters, making sure that you're taking a walk, that you're meditating, that you're finding your own space is going to be essential. There could just be a lot on your mind as well. Letting go of some of that, talking to someone, that could be key too. Most of your cards are pretty good. So I'm feeling auspicious about health. It just feels like there's a pacing issue. So for some of you, going too fast or too slow and finding the happy middle, happy medium is really what this is about. Okay. Let's take a look at why you came here today, wealth. We have White Raven Spirit here, very connected to what I was talking about earlier with the Magician, that we all have that capacity to tap into source, trust the magic. There's a lot of different words for religion, there's a lot of different words for magic, but basically there's something bigger, there's something cosmic that kind of helps weave all of this together. You wouldn't be sitting here if there wasn't. So this is about trusting in that and doing something with that. For me, that was absolutely connected to where I'm at right now. I was like, I gotta trust the magic and do something different and just embrace this and just take it one step at a time. So for each of you, that magic could be different. It could be maybe you want to do something where you're giving back. So you want to be, a teacher, a nurse, or something like that. Or you want to do something like I'm doing. You want to be a healer, or you want to discover something creative that you haven't had a chance to do, and it's being an artist. So whatever your magic is, go there. And that's the first piece of advice. Let's look at your money for a second in these cards. So I like that the page is here. I like that the queen is here. So this is showing me that you're headed in the right direction. Slow but steady wins the race, like the Nine of Pentacles. So don't rush. Really be discerning on any contracts that you're signing. I do like the advisor energy that's coming through in the environment, and it feels like you're headed in a good direction. The Six of Swords has two connotations with work, though, and with money. For some of you, it's moving towards a goal. For some of you, it's moving away. Slow down and really contemplate the decision. I did it, before I moved into my current career. But I did it for both ends, because I was walking away from one thing and walking toward another. And I had to make sure that what I was walking towards was just as engaging, just as promising. So look at it from both sides and make sure that you're really kind of comfortable about whatever it is that you're bringing in. We see growth here, though, from the page to the queen, and I like that. We see an opportunity to travel or to move up or to move on, and that is really where it's all headed. This time around, it feels like, again, I feel like I say this a lot, but you should be steering the ship here with the Emperor card. Don't let someone else have control of your, especially intellectual property. But when it comes to your time, energy, and money decisions, you should be the one that's signing the checks. Okay? And if someone else is, you should have the approval or denial sort of option as well. What else do I want to talk about? Okay, one last thing, which is if there is something that you've been waiting to do, now is the time to do it. This is saying the wait is over. It's basically a return to form here. Creativity and making some sort of an impact or impression is also part of this magic. All right? Let's move on to love and relationships and see how the Two of Pentacles or these partnership energies are coming through. So, especially as I look at it today, this could be more than love. So, we have the Temple coming through for this, and the Temple is reversed. And this reminds me a lot of the Tower because it looks like a tower. So, with the Tower reversed, it's about rebuilding or taking down something and saying, this is what I'm going to keep from this. So for those of you that might be on the rebound or getting out of a relationship or out of a contract, this is saying it was not a waste. There's a lot that you can take from it. You built that, you can rebuild something else. You can also use some of those materials to rebuild something else. For those of you that have been in a really long-term relationship, this is saying give the dust a chance to settle. Let's look at this in a unique way today. I'm just gonna title it partnerships because it could be business or it could be love, and I'm gonna look at it higher than just romantic. So for those of you that are looking for a business partnership or a romantic partnership, I'm gonna help you with the communication of that, and I'm gonna help you see the foundation. This can be used for either. So if you're more business oriented, we'll look at it that way. And I don't feel like we really need to look at single and looking at all of that. This is a special reading today. So we're going to focus on how you can improve relationships across the board and what kind of opportunities are presenting themselves. So if you're currently in a contract or currently partnered up with somebody, business or love, here's what I see. Evenly matched, which is something that I look for. This is you, Queen of Wands. This is them, the Queen of Pentacles. You are coming through with a lot of ideas and a lot of desire to be at the helm. They are coming through with a desire for seeing what the return is going to be. Very grounded energy, possibly an earth sign. Someone that definitely wants to see how this is going to affect the bottom line. Ideas, cash, and bottom line. You're more the idea person in this from what I'm seeing here. What are the challenges? Communicating progress, status to this person. The other thing here is there's a little bit of a desire to speed things up. The cards are saying don't rush unnecessarily. It would be better to articulate why you need more time. If the other party is working slower than you'd like, ask for an update. Never assume the worst. And also confirm or clarify. Say we had talked about this is the initial goal. It feels like that might be different. Can you give me an update? Do you need anything from me? Was I not clear? Or are we still tracking on time? Just go at it from a very open-minded perspective. Let's get to the sort of like crux of it. I feel like good partnership energy is present. This is you, this is them. The two of you are doing really great. I'm not seeing significant hurdles other than one person may be preoccupied, may not be there when you need to talk to them. So getting them in the same place at the same time, you may actually have to kind of like go to their place of wherever they're living or wherever they're working and say, hey, let's just chat for 10 minutes about this. And then you can do your thing and I'll do my thing. Because these are two cards where you're in different directions. Could be long distance. So for business, you could be on different sides of the globe. For love, you might have met someone and you're not yet in the same city. But I like what I'm seeing here. Lots of potential in the relationship. I think it's important to be generous to them and to also accept with gratitude any generosity extended to you, since Lord Ganesh came through with that message. It's pretty good, actually, when I'm looking at partnerships. Let's look at it just in the realm of seeking a partnership. Not so much looking for love, but seeking a partnership. I don't see that there's going to be significant delays in that because we have 6 of Cups and we have 2 of Cups here. The only thing that you might need to do, and this is the challenging piece, is to look in a couple of different locations. Who you're looking for, there's someone there, but if that's not what you want, there's other options, but they're not local. So you might have to look in different states, cities, provinces, and countries to find that key partnership that you're looking for. There could also be age or experience gaps that are playing a part in that. But when I look at energy, the energy is pretty even. So this could be like 7 to 10 years or something, but it's not the end of the world. In fact, that might actually bring in additional experience and wealth of experience, I should say. Okay. If you've lost someone or if you've lost something, this is your rebuilding moment. And you should feel that the partnership, if you're creating one, is a sacred partnership. It's a safe space. And if it isn't, accept nothing less than that. Okay? That's the unique look on love. This is more about partnerships this week because you really wanted me to look at, your money. Okay? Now let's focus on destiny. For some reason, I decided to pull 2 from Lord Ganesh, but that's fine. I did. So we have personal transformation. This is what it's about. Proving to yourself and to others that you can do different things, that this is going to be different this time around. That sounds fun to me. I like that. Transformation is also death. So for some of you, that tower moment, that death moment, it's necessary. I just read the other day the star card, and I was reminding people that you have to go through things like death, devil, tower, all of that energy before you get to the star. So this is kind of like one of those final stages before you are able to really, shine and do what you want to do. So it feels like letting go of something or stepping into something new, maybe on the heels of something not going the way that you wanted. Those are 2 of the 3 cards that are kind of coming up before the star. So the only other one is letting go of any of the anchors in your life that are holding you back. And you're really close to that star because we see that here. This is the devil that doesn't want you to get to the star. So I actually think you're very, very close, if not already in the throes of being that star. But it's just really to get to the star energy, which has been coming through so many times in the daily reads. What you have to do is be comfortable with attention, be comfortable in your own skin, believe in yourself, believe in whatever it is that you're doing, because then there's nothing to hide. Then it's just you. Take it or leave it. And that's really what the star is all about. And that is where you're going to find your biggest success, the biggest doors, the biggest opportunities opening. Because, even actors can tell you this. You can put on a show, but at some point, I think the best acting is when they reveal a part of themselves. They pull from an experience. They show sort of vulnerability. So the best actors are sometimes not acting. They're tapping into vulnerable parts of themselves that they don't show all the time. So when you are authentic, vulnerable, or real, you are relatable. When you are relatable, the spotlight's on you. So don't be afraid to shine a spotlight on some of those pieces of your life where you feel like others might benefit, and also just like where the passion is. That's my soul and business advice on that as well. Okay. I feel like one more card and we're good to go before we get to the final portion. So what we're going to do is just a big idea card. And it's just basically saying, for the topic today, is there one thing that you can do to open the door to success, to abundance? We have the 5 of Swords in reverse. So let's take a look at this card. This is really interesting. Okay, so what we see here is it worth it? Is it worth dealing with this shadow side of ourself, or someone that only wants to see half of the equation? So the traditional 5 of Swords, you're going to see 2 people in the background, 1 person in the foreground, and they're typically kind of like feeding off the energy. For this one, I see someone who kind of knows better than to deal with that energy there. So don't waste your time dealing with people that don't get it. Don't waste another breath or thought on someone who doesn't have constructive feedback or who is insensitive. This is really your moment to focus on feeding something that matters in your life. Here's the traditional card. So in the foreground, we have the instigator, a little bit of a smirk on his face. We have a person in the far distance there crying. We have another one just walking away in disgust. You can't really win with the Five of Swords. And one of the lessons in life is, as a healer, as a teacher, as a human, not everybody wants to receive help. Not everyone is interested in your advice. Not everyone will like you. And if you're doing something well and important, there's always going to be a naysayer. There's always going to be someone who says something that's cruel or not constructive. That just means you're doing a good job. If 95% of it's good and there's just, a couple people on the sidelines, they're always going to be. Pay them no mind. Move on. Move on to something else. Growth and abundance await. That's just shadow energy, trying to tug you back a little bit, trying to hold you from accomplishing your greater good, your greater goal. And that's my advice on that. Okay? We're going to get ready now for the final component of this reading, which includes a meditation and a final card. Before I get to the final card, write down a question that you have for me that you haven't had a chance for me to read or to answer yet. And right after this meditation, we'll take a look at it. Okay? And Dakota's usually good about reminding you before we meditate, hit that like and subscribe. Let's get to another milestone. You can give me a follow later on social media as well. And for now, let's focus on the meditation. For today's meditation, let's see what I want to open up for you. Well, I really love the sunflower energy, which is smack dab in the center. And I think that's a flower we can all relate to and imagine. So imagine, if you will, please close your eyes. Let's actually just tune into our bodies first. And then we'll get into the meditation. So eyes closed, deep breath, inhale. On the exhale, letting go of any tension that you might be holding in your shoulders or in your neck. Sitting back in your chair if you can. Just relaxing, focusing on the rhythm of the breathing, the sound of the breathing. Imagining that it's almost like an ocean wave, bringing in this sense of energy, nourishment, a brand new day. Take your time now and imagine that you are in the middle of a golden field. As far as the eyes can see, it's all gold. At first you think it might be poppies, but as you start to look a little closer, you can see it's sunflowers. And imagine now that you are smack dab in the center of that field of sunflowers, laying down, looking at the light filtering through all of the golden petals, watching as they sway in the wind, watching as they turn towards the sun. See them as 100,000 little satellites taking in that energy. And as you connect to the earth, feel that energy also coming up through the earth into your mind, body, and spirit. Golden light is coursing through your mind, your body, your spirit, through your lungs. And it's creating this sense of peace, of safety, of power. And you're really feeling this in the solar plexus, which now is shining just as brightly as one of those sunlit sunflowers above you. Take a few moments as I play the singing bowl here to just really connect with your core and feel that you can do whatever you want to do in this next chapter of your life. Take another deep breath. Gently open your eyes. Bring your hands together in your heart. Start to rub them together. Place them on the heart, and I'd like you now just to really feel that sense that you can do it, you will do it, you are doing it. Each breath, each step, each thought that you take and make after this are a step towards the new tomorrow. And I mostly want you to feel today that you are worth it. You are worth whatever it is that you're trying to bring into your life. Take a moment now, and I'd like you to focus on the final question that you have for me. And let's see what the universe has to say. Okay, we have a card that already came out, Judgment. Let me go ahead and shuffle and get you a final one, but we already have a little bit of an answer there. Okay. Yes, we'll take these two. Thank you very much. So your answer to your question, and then I have another one from the universe, is the King of Pentacles. This is what today's reading was all about. So it's an affirmative card saying, yes, you've got it. We've got money in that stag's, sort of, what do you call them? Antlers. So this is about keeping your mind in that affirmative space. I can do this. I am worth it. I am creating abundance. It's not about what you had or didn't have in the past. That's history. We're looking at present and future, and I talked about history being myopic and not telling the full story. So we're focusing on the future, not on the past, and that's what the King of Pentacles is all about. And he's on top of things. He's on top of the world there. So getting on top of your money, getting on top of this idea or energy, focusing on creating, not on also like what someone else might be saying about your past. They're jealous or they want to hold you down or back. You're focusing on potential. And this is the most important card, and Spirit insisted that it come out of the deck. Judgment is basically, so it is written, so shall it be. It's already out there, but you have to believe in it. Judgment can't make you believe in something. It can only say it's there. So the cool thing with this is many of you have made up your minds. You came today to get affirmation. Judgment is saying, you know what you want to do. You know how to do it. You know that you have to do it. Do it. You also can't control other people's decisions in your life. You can only control what you want to do and how you want to do it. That's where your power is. For many of you, this is a call to use your voice. This is Archangel Gabriel. So this is good for those of you that are writers, speakers, or teachers, anybody that has something to say or something that they want other people to hear. Okay? So that was a powerful reading today. I knew it was going to be. I was happy when you chose that topic. I was actually a little surprised. We don't cover that often here. I don't always look at money. I don't always look at love. But when they come through, they're actually kind of fun for me to do because we're not looking at it all the time. So hopefully that helped unlock some potential for many of you and some ideas for how to embrace opportunities over the next week. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. Again, a reminder that if you want to follow me across social media, that's my handle. I don't give private readings, so if anybody offers one, it's not me. I don't have any second accounts. You can always go to my main website or the About tab here for official information on that. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. A quick way to know if you've subscribed is if you can chat on a live stream because it's subscriber only. Thank you so much for being here. Especially want to say thanks to, I called out a few at the beginning, for anybody that celebrated a membership milestone. Thank you. I saw some when I came in. I'll see if I can see any now. But I'm also going to give a little bit of gratitude to Super Stickers, Super Chat, and the newest members. Okay, let's take a moment here while I'm doing that. Again, thanks to Dakota for his help while I'm doing this so I can just focus on the reading. Much appreciated, as always. All right, for today's members, let's see who's here. Okay, it looks like it's Al. Thank you. Brand new member joining. Monica, thanks for rejoining. Raven, Renee, let's see, Judith, Liza with a Z, Shooting for the Stars, Just Be, Anne, let's see, Marquita, Patricia, Playtable Games, and I think that's everybody from today. If I missed anyone, apologies. Let's take a look at the Super Sticker and Super Chat. And we've got a few today, so thank you so much. I'm just going to do first names, and I'll walk through them pretty quickly here so that we can get to everything. All right, so Zeneb, thank you so much. Sonette, Cynthia, Lori, Donna, thanks for that extra bit too. I appreciate it. Lucy, Suzanne, Playtable Games, thanks for being a new member and also for giving back. Eileen, thanks for that extra bit too. Jeannie, Carmen, Renita, thank you for the generosity there too. Maria, K. Ross, Janet, Monica, Robert, hey buddy, good to see you and thank you for your generosity. I appreciate it. Let's see, Ellen, Brittany, Diana, Angel, and Lulia. I hope I said that correctly. Any mispronunciations were not on purpose. I'm doing my best here. Nicole, Enzo, good to see you again. And let's see, we also have a member here celebrating a milestone. So thank you, Sarah. Let's see if I missed anybody. I think I got everyone. Hopefully I did. I'll see if there's any other member sort of milestones that it will show up. No, they usually are out of my view by the time I do this. Eileen, you gifted 5 memberships today. Thank you for that gift. You're always great about that. Much appreciated. Janet, thank you for being a member for 3 months as well. Let me see if I missed anybody. I think I said thanks to Renita. If I didn't, I'm going to say thanks again. Let's see. I think that's it. Okay. I do my best to see as many as I can and say thanks to as many as I can. Pearl, I just noticed you gave as well. All of these memberships and stickers are helping. There's a lot of costs associated with my podcast, so that's under pre-production. I'll be doing production in a couple months, and it'll come out at the end of the summer. More will come on my community page as soon as it's ready, but in the meantime, I just want to say thanks. It helps a lot. Everybody, have a great week ahead. I'm going to be live Monday, Thursday, and Friday. I'll make sure to put those video reminders up later today so you can hit the set reminder tab. And then remember, I'm here every weekend, and I do dailies as well. Judith, thanks for that late contribution as well. All right, everybody, take care of yourselves and have a great week ahead. Wishing you lots of love and light. I'm going to go walk Mr. Apollo, who's been snoozing happily in the background here. He is here. Let's see if I can bring him up for the last couple minutes. Want to go for a walk, buddy? He says, Dad, I was napping. All right, from Apollo and I, lots of love and light. Wishing you all the best. Thanks, guys, for making today a fantastic day. Bye-bye.